Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again. Almost daily, but always sharp. He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen, almost daily. Laughs and facts, served out plainly. Your dose of wit, it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Hello, and welcome to another Stephen Allen Almost Daily, because what else am I going to do with my days? And this is the live stream version and the radio audio podcast thing. Also, there is, if you subscribe to the audio one, we're now making podcasts of the All Hit Radio show that I do. More on that later. Anyway, in the comment section already, Martin's here, Proper Memes here, Chris Hood's here already. I think we're up to date with all that. So get involved, give some chit chat. I also got a few technical things to do. First of all, firstly, putting the putting the aircon on. Why not? Yeah. Joodle says skids in sideways higher. If you listen to my All Hit Radio show today, there's a good joke about things going sideways. I've already got some of it in the bag already because it's all computers these days. So anyway, more on that later. What I also want to do before we get into the news is point out, yesterday, I think it was Martin in the comment section, said this show drags on. I then spent a lot of yesterday working out if there was anything to do with being dressed as a woman that I'd mentioned. I don't think there was. So here's the promise. I will try and do today's show in half an hour. Yesterday's was a 47-minuter, and even I was like, yes. I did try and get a countdown on the screen because I got the technology. I can do it. I got the tech. But I realised it'd kind of be embarrassing for all of the clips to have a countdown in the bottom half. And also, what happens if I don't get to half an hour? So I've not added that yet. Meanwhile, I will, and this is the promise to you, get my phone to do an actual countdown. Timer, 30 seconds. No, that'd be quite the heck of a podcast, wouldn't it? What? I'd rather you did it now. Well, I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm doing it. Right. The countdown's going. 30 minutes of covering all the news. Let's start with this. The front pages. The Guardian goes with Microsoft blocks Israel's use of its technology for mass surveillance. I thought about that. What technology do Microsoft have that's mass surveillance? Windows 11, isn't it? That's what it is. There's that changeover when Windows stopped being a pay-for operating system and became a free one. We became the product, didn't we? So I think that's what it is. It's Windows 11 telemetrics or whatever they call it. That's what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily going to slow them down. You can't use Microsoft Teams. You'd be better for it, to be fair. Front page of, I think we're doing these in reverse order. Here we are. The Daily Star has Kia's card trick, maybe more on IDs later, but also yesterday on the show, previously, video still choppy. I refreshed. What's happened? What? There is oh, hang on. I have unfortunately been messing with my stream. Yeah. As everyone's saying, so Proper Memes is saying the video is choppy, audio is okay. Chris is going, jumping a Bart. Think your internet is dodgy today. Okay, there is a chance that it might be something I've done. Really, because it looks pretty flipping good this end. Let me get into the... This is what people pay for. Oh, you don't pay for it, do you? But there it is. Let's see. Let's see what the thing is. Apparently, the stream's bitrate... Oh, okay. That might be it. Yeah. The stream's bitrate is a bit heady. Let's bring that down. It's now trying to stream at the bitrate that I record at. There's the problem. Okay, well, please hold. I reckon we've got to go down to that. And then that. You're watching a man change a bitrate live on the internet. See how that goes. Also, if you're listening to the audio version of this, I'm just so sorry. Good God, who wants to download someone changing a bitrate? There you go. Let me know if that's updated it. Because, yes, previously I was saying, yesterday's show, I was talking about, there was a thing in the news about carrots saying it's good for your eyes. But the scientists didn't say it was good for your eyes, and I wanted to know how many carrots would you have to eat to offset things that are bad for your eyes. And I mentioned Sydney Sweeney's jeans advert that might lead to something that famously makes you go blind and gives you hairy palms. Meanwhile, Sydney Sweeney's back. She's a steps symbol. She's now advertising shoes. And you look at those shoes and you think, probably don't need to eat carrots now. Fine. So, there you go. Is the lower bit rate working? Are we back? Are we back and streaming nicely? I'm moving to try and give you a sense of motion. Still choppy. Hang on, bear with. I'll be back in a sec. See how that's going. There's a chance we're back. Also, just realised today's video is titled the 26th, not the 26th, the 26th. So I'll work on that. Meanwhile, front page of, we get into the Sun. Is it Kazai is having a midlife crisis? What's my bitrate set at? I've only got it at 20k at the moment. I think the maximum YouTube wants is 50, and I'm down at 20, so I don't know what anyone could be struggling with. Is this... Oh, am I still choppy? You're watching a man broadcast whether he's choppy or not. Keep them coming in the comment section. Is it Kazai is having a midlife crisis? Sacha Baron Cohen, 53, dates a model 27. Probably. Yeah. I think I told you this the other day, didn't I? I bought off the internet. I have restarted. I have restarted the stream. That's exactly what I did. All right, hang on. I mean, when we actually do the live version of this, it's going to be great. But until then, not necessarily choppy on a PS4 and a phone, but the audio is fine, says Martin. You thought yesterday's show dragged on. I suppose I could go back in and change. I was having it, so I was streaming at a certain bit rate and quality and recording it, and the recording was just not working. The new version of DaVinci Resolve was just not importing in. The problem was, I updated OBS, and it's changed its NVIDIA codec thing. I don't know. The depreciated one was giving me some bad stuff. Oh, it's fixed. There we go. Boom. Right, let's crack into it. It's the best start of the show I've done. I'm actually going to have to edit this for the audio version, aren't I? There's no way I can expect audio people to cope with that. Right. This is where we do the audio edit. Hello, and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily, the podcast that takes a look at, vaguely takes a look at news. It kind of generally it glances at news and then romps on. I did promise to make it a half-hour show. We've just literally spent 6 minutes of it doing that. So let's go back up. Half an hour of news coming at you. Front page of the Sun today. Is it Kazai is having a midlife crisis? Ali G. Sacha Baron Cohen, 53, dates a model. I mean, not bang on half his age, flipping close, isn't it? And fair enough. No, because I just get the feeling, if this were the other way around gender-wise, what would happen is it would be on the front page of the Daily Mail, and there'd be like famous Madonna but slightly younger style woman with younger bloke, and the headlines would be, if it was the other way around, no one would comment. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Literally, there was a story about there was the one of Mick Jagger dating a much younger woman, and the headlines were all about it would be such controversy if it was the other way around. It's literally controversy when it's this way around. And there was the story of Leonardo DiCaprio, who kind of had a habit of stopping dating women when they were 25. Yeah, I get questions there. But the Daily Mail went big on it. Oh, what's wrong with this guy? The same copy of the newspaper had a story about Melanie Sykes, who was 50-something or whatever, had just split up with a 27-year-old waiter, wasn't he? They didn't mention the age gap at all. So maybe we're a little bit post this problem. But the reason I'm upset about it is that is a midlife crisis. That's a good one. I bought 16 pairs of socks this summer off the internet because, as I say, I got the cheap apps. And my missus said, oh, they're a bit bright, a bit loud. Look at those designs. Well, is this your midlife crisis? I flipping hope not. I don't want my midlife crisis. You only get one. My midlife crisis to be 16 pairs of ankle socks. This guy's got a 27-year-old OnlyFans model. I got socks. So maybe, yeah, post-divorce, after a £120 million divorce, do it. Stop. Let's not judge. Let's not yuck people's yums. Front page of The Mirror. I guess we're going to have to talk about this, playing the brick card. We can do loads on this today because No one likes it. Absolutely every single political party other than the Labour Party don't like the idea of bringing in ID cards. And it's not just ID cards, is it? It's an app. That's going to be even worse. So this is IT. Have you ever seen a government do an IT? They'll be doing a SHIT all over the place. So it's definitely going to be £53 billion more than expected, and it'll take about an extra 10 years. In fact, by the time they bring this in, I'll be gone. So I shouldn't worry about this at all, should I really? I don't know why I don't like it, though. It's the idea. I'd stick to so many rules anyway, and it wouldn't impact my life. But just fundamentally, I don't like the, show me your papers vibes out of it. And the fact that it'll be an app rather than an actual card makes it worse. Because I don't renew my phone as often as I used to. You get 2 years on contract, and then you get another year or so out of a good phone, don't you? You can cope with it. It's got a good enough camera, good enough computer, but the battery goes. So you have those ones where you leave the house, you use your phone on the tube a little bit too much, and there's not a lot of battery left, and you go through that phase of having to use your Oyster card again rather than the phone. What happens if I get stopped by the police and show me your ID? I would do. Have you got a charger? How do I get slowed down by all that faff? Anyway, more of that later. Front page of the Daily Express. Schools should ban phones to protect nation's pupils. But what about their ID? How are these children going to show that they have the right to work? Probably in the future. Who knows? That story, Lulu reveals love for David Bowie. More on that later because it's from inside one of the tabloids. Digital ID scheme, confirm right to work. Eesh. And why British comedians, says the Times, are jetting to Saudi. I've not read it. I'm guessing it's money. Because I know comedians. I kind of know money. So I imagine that's what that is. There's your front pages. Right, let's see what's happening in the comment section. All good now, Steve. Trouble is we can still hear you, says Martin. Real life sucks, says Chris Hood. It does, doesn't it? Harsh Martin. No, he's the one saying this show dragged on yesterday. Honestly, that's why we're only doing half an hour today. Middle-aged men tend to have issues with their stream, says Proper Memes. Yep. Is it a midlife crisis? Asking for a friend, says Hi-Ho Kermit. And what else we got going? The socks are older than her. What was she, 27 or something? Fully grown. Honestly, there is some weird post-Me Too backlash where you're not even allowed to have a midlife crisis. I don't know. The guy with the contract to supply the ID app likes it. I bet he does. Honestly, the idea that we have to use have you seen some people using their phones? Because it'll be all right if it's just, thumbprint, beep, move on with your life, right? But we've all been behind those people who have to do something with their phones, getting into a gig, or even like the QR codes on a train, and some old person's like, oh, let me get my glasses. Oh, we've got to move on with it. We're going to ruin productivity if you have to wait behind people doing that. More on the Lulu, Guru, Boohoo, Labubu, Boohoo. All of that still to come. If your phone runs out of battery, says Proper Memes, when the police stop you, you'll get charged. This is what people come here for. Thank you. I shall send you some of the no money I earn from this. Meanwhile, let's get inside the papers.
Let's get inside the news.
Oh, the thing came up early. I've slightly swapped around the order of the things. Well, we're just going zoomed in. I'm only going to zoom in and then I'll zoom out when the newspapers don't fit. Let's start with news that has a Trekkie. This is sad news. Hopefully only worrying, but not actually sad yet. William Shatner resting, as most actors are, but they don't mean that. William Shatner was hurried to hospital after a medical emergency. I do hope he's all right. Because obviously, as a big Star Trek nerd, massive soft spot for this guy. I went through that phase of not being cool, did he? And did that documentary with the other captains. But come on, James T. Kirk. And also TJ Hooker. And he's old now, isn't he? He's 94. And I've seen him, he's still working. He looks nowhere near 94. I don't know how he's doing it. Good. Keep on working, loving your work. And it's amazing, not only is he that sprightly at 94, it's not like he lived his life with the BMI that we are told is optimal to achieve longevity. Do you know, I don't want being harsh, but he was somewhat tubby during the TJ Hooker phase. For some reason, they always showed him running in slow motion. Or maybe they didn't. We just thought they did. It's difficult to know now. I have to go back and watch some of it. But hopefully he's going to be all right. Also, so I feel for him. I feel for whoever has to rush over to him when he has a medical emergency. What do you do if you're there? William William V. Shatner is there, collapses to the ground. You run over, oh my days, this is William Shatner. And you'd be like, give this man some space. And he'd be like, space, the final frontier. These, the voyages of Sergeant Benrise. So hopefully you'll be all right, especially after that joke. Rachel Reeves, gamble tax raid. We've talked about this on the show before. She wants to bring in a betting tax. Kind of, you've got to have to tax someone. And if it's not me, I guess these are the rules these days. But to try and make us feel better about it, and I think it works, the plan is you get rid of the betting tax to then give it a way of spending the extra money, getting rid of the 2-child benefit cap. And I'll tell you why I like it. It solves the problem. There's no victim in this crime. If you like gambling, have another kid. Because I'll tell you what's a bigger gamble. It's having a kid, isn't it? Is it that much of a gamble? Oh, which horse is going to come first? That's not really. There's no. Where's the risk? There's no risk there. What there is a risk in is having another kid that might turn into an absolute wrong 'un. You've seen some kids. We've all seen, Nick in EastEnders. Hello, Ma. There's your gamble. So, if you enjoy the thrill of gambling, have more kids. That sorts that one out, isn't it? There we go. Great impression, says Chris Hood. Thanks. I'd never tried it before. I didn't realise I could do an okay one. I still think my only good impressions, Ronnie Corbett and a bit of Griff Rhys-Jones from When They Lean on the Tables. Before we move on. Sadly, I don't think they're here in the comment section. Who was it who was talking about having a side camera or something the other day? I've forgotten which key I've loaded it in on, but there you go. Again, anyone listening to the audio version of that, this will not make much sense to you, but side camera. In black and white, in grainy black and white, so that I can be talking and can suddenly cut to it from one way. If I'm doing some big, heartfelt piece, there'll be a stream version of that that's recorded into a separate file, although, as you can tell, my attempts to record files from OBS has not gone well today. But then the emotional, just when I'm really getting into it, go black and white. Yes, you can see what's in my drawers as well. Not like that, not in an OnlyFans way. I don't want to go out with Sacha Baron Cohen. Cue Harry Hill's Hasides. What? Old school side-eye, says Chris Hood. And Buck Murdoch in Airplane 2. Yes, of course. William Shatner. Great. He did all the great characters, didn't he? He did James T. Kirk, T.J. Hooker, Buck Murdoch in Airplane 2, back to Captain Kirk again for a while. That's pretty much it. Where's that story gone that we're about to do? Teabags tagged to halt rise in thefts. You can guess the story. They've put security tags on teabags. No, I'm sick of this. That we're now, everything gets a security tag on. And here's why it doesn't work, I'll tell you. So in my local shop, they've put it on cheese. I don't know who's nicking that much cheese. I don't know if that, like going in for razor blades, they are quite expensive. A creamy ched. I don't know why that's the thing that the criminal fraternity is going after. But it means whenever I buy cheese, the alarm goes off when I walk out with the cheese. I don't know what the system is, but when you go to a self-scan till, no one's taking the security tag off cheese. So how is it meant to work? Because what normally happens is I go and buy the cheese, I walk out, it beeps, and the security guard goes, carry on. So you don't have any security, do you? We've normalised the sound of beep, 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 beep. So now, if you are a shoplifter, pretend you're buying cheese. Buy some cheese. It won't cost you that much. Literally, buy £2.50 worth of PG tips. And then when you go through, just show your box, go, it's this thing. So you can literally have the really expensive stuff. I would say the razor blade shoved down your pants. Don't do that. What else do they put security tags on? Prawn. Don't shove prawn down your pants. Actually, yeah, this ain't going to work. There is no system. I also hate the plastic things they now put in front of certain things. I get it. The idea is you put the plastic protectors on that you have to move to get an item off, which means you can't supermarket sweep it, can you? You can't go down and just get everything into a bag and you're out. But for some reason, the way they've been set up in my local shop, you also can't get one item out. So I now just don't buy that stuff. Proper Meme says, if it's a sticker, then the self-scan checkout should neutralize it when you scan it. This is why I do it very slowly with items with tags. I thought it should do, but it don't. Something's not happening. And I'm not that fast with me scanning. Where do you have to... They should have a little patch that you've got to rub it up against. Do you know what I mean? But it's another thing that slows us down in this world. having to rub your security tag, your cheese security tag all over the place. That and also old people with their phones. Can you me ID? In fact, this is the next story we were going to talk about, which is the one. Here we go. Every adult in Britain will need a digital ID card under plans to be set out by Sir Keir Starmer. We'll get more news on this today. But I just think it won't work. As we've already seen in the comments section, of course, this will get hacked at the drop of a hat, won't it? It will cost billions, and then someone will hack it straight away. And if not just someone, not just some nerdy teen, Russia will then also do it. It'll be meaningless. And the whole point is to try and stop people having the pull factor of working in the UK if you are coming here illegally. Well, here's my theory. If you're coming here illegally, one thing we know about you is you're willing to do something that's illegal. Working without an ID would be illegal. I think they'd be willing to do it. Do you know, I feel like I'm not too far outside the box with that thought. Do you know what I mean? So it will stop nothing and will be really annoying. Also, Alex is in the comment section as well. Hi, Alex. In my local Asda, they have condoms and lube in security cases. There's a threat. They just have security tags on mine. It would make you behave, though, wouldn't it? If the security guard's walking around with condoms and lube, you're like, no, yeah, I'll put this back. Good luck trying to get my 89-year-old mum doing anything digital, says Martin. Depends, if she run out of money. I know there's Sacha Baron Cohen might like her work. What was I saying? So it happened yesterday. I was at a gig in Maidenhead. If you were there, well done. It was a lovely, lovely audience. And I was backstage with one of the other comedians. And I was thinking about filming it, but my tripod stand was rubbish or whatever. And he said, you get these stands these days that are magnetic. I thought, oh, that's cool. What, so you can just you just put your phone on the magnety thing, and it means you don't have to use the little grip thing. Brilliant. I'll do that in the future, I thought to myself. I got to my car to drive home. I opened up Instagram just to, see what's the latest news in bikinis. And advert for a magnetic... I'd never seen it. I didn't even know these things existed. But my phone, come on. They say it doesn't happen, but it happens, doesn't it? The phone was listening to my conversation. So would you let the government have an app on your phone? Because it's not even just would you trust this government. You'd have to trust all future governments not to use this technology against you. And even if you trust this one, I don't think you'd trust the next couple. All right, move that out of the way. Maybe more on Substack about that. I feel I should rant about that more. We're already zoomed in, aren't we? Here we are. This story bothered me. A police probe has been launched after 2 baby pygmy goats were stolen from a field in Rainham, Kent, in a nighttime raid. Nighttime's one word, isn't it? But anyway, that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is the headline's not kidnapped. It feels like that's what you should do, innit? You've really got my goat would be the other headline, but it's probably not space for that. I feel like they're letting us down. They're letting us down. They're eating the swans. Do you reckon they're eating the goats? They'd regret that. Ooh, it's a tough meat, isn't it? Drones. I have to work out how to zoom out on this now. Look at the technology. Drones buzzing airports are not Vladimir Putin's spies in the sky, but alien-controlled UFOs, according to, and here's where a lot of the validity in this sentence goes downhill, Uri Geller. Oh, well, I didn't realise we had an expert talking about these things. So according to Uri Geller, it's aliens, not Vladimir Putin. Is that worse or better? I don't know. I feel like it's not worth thinking about too much because probably not true. I had a falling out with Uri Geller once. I used to work on BBC Radio Ken. I interviewed him over something that he was promoting. And then we just got into the question of, I think it was one of those things where it was like, if we all get together and think a thing at 11 o'clock, we can make football win, or one of those things. And I'm not convinced. So I said to him, what happens if we don't win? Does this mean your thing doesn't work? And he said, no, it means everyone didn't think hard enough. And I went, well, You've got an unfalsifiable claim there, haven't you? So it's really easy for you to say, this stuff works, and if it doesn't work, it's someone else's fault. And basically he ended the interview saying, I'm sensing you're too cynical. I'm just asking a question. And I got home, and none of my spoons were absolutely done in. So I don't think it's real. In fact, here's another reason why. Uri Geller's been in the news quite a lot, speaking about the conflict with Israel and Gaza and all of that. And you just think to yourself, if he had actual powers, there'd be a news story by now that like everyone in Hamas, no cutlery. That it's not quite up there with the Hezbollah pages thing, but it'd be good, wouldn't it? It'd slow them down. Hummus would be a little bit trickier, like not a spoon, not a knife, all of them. Absolutely, state of it, because Uri went to town on them. Don't mess with Uri, but it turns out you can mess with Uri. And I think if you've got those level of powers, I think we've somehow disproved him. Do you know what I mean? I have assigned Geller Spoon the fraud. Yeah, he's an absolute, of course he is. UFOs and Geller, it was always going to happen. It just took a bit of time. Yeah, I wish I could find the clip of me falling out with him. It was an interview that I was proud to have done. Meanwhile, you probably need this safety news. It zooms it in, if anything. There we go. People who bounce too high on trampolines could be illegally snooping on their neighbours. Folks could be breaching privacy laws and people's human rights. Human rights, the sooner we get ourselves out of the court of... I can't even go on a trampoline these days. I'd love to see there be any court case where this actually happened. Surely to goodness. If you were done for jumping on your trampoline and your neighbour said, yeah, he's snooping, surely you could prove that there are better ways to snoop. I've not tried to snoop on my neighbours. He's an old bloke. I don't even, I don't know if he wears bikinis, but I probably don't even want to watch. So you got the internet. I got Instagram. I would say you wouldn't snoop on a trampoline because only half the time are you spending it snooping. The rest of it, you're in the lower part of the jump. Whereas ladder technology, that would be the one that gets them, wouldn't it? Drones, periscopes, webcams, any way. Not that I've spent ages thinking about this or buying it on Temu, but there's just loads of ways you could do it without doing a trampoline. It's absolute nonsense. In the comment section, digital spying apps are okay, but trampolines are an invasion of privacy. Exactly. This is the world we live in. Digital ID will sort out those trampoline jumpers, says Hi-Ho Kermit. And what about the top deck of a bus? If you've got one of those in your back garden, it's pretty sus, isn't it? You would think, why is that guy sitting on top of his double-decker bus in his back garden with his binoculars and his blanket on his lap? You know what I mean? And I'll tell you why. It's because that new Sydney Sweeney advert with those shoes. No one needs carrots without happening. Keep the comments coming through. What's this one? Flabby dad bods and going bald, how very dare you, are British blokes' worst insecurities. Oh, I'm over it. I think I got used to it. That's the thing, actually. To be a bloke who's in shape with a full head of hair, your life must be hell. Because I feel like it's a mighty, mighty boss tones thing. You never know if you've never been tested. And I'm slightly thinning. I don't know if you can tell on this or even on the side cam. I'm slightly thinning. And when it comes to a dad bod, it's one of the best things about having kids is that this is now technically a dad bod. Before my first son was born, I was just fat. But since then, dad bod. And apparently some chicks are into that. Mainly if you've just been through a £120 million divorce. Not that he's got a... Have you seen the pictures of Sacha Baron Cohen? He has been working out. I think if you've got that much money and you're looking that good in the gym, is it harsh to say your rebound relationship shouldn't be with someone your own age? Come on, he's put the work. There's a difference between... I should get 16 pairs of socks. He should definitely be doing what he's doing. But flabby dad bods and going bald are British blokes' worst insecurities. Other hate grey hair and skinny limbs. You literally can't win, can you? If you're too fat or too thin, you have to feel bad. If you've got grey hair, which is... You've managed to keep your hair and it went grey. Well done. You're in the end game of keeping hair. For the rest of us, I'm not grey, but it's gone. It's traitorous hair, is what it is. It's deserting. I've got head sedition. Chris Hood points out I said chicks. I said chicks, yeah. We're going old school on today's broadcast. So there we go. Congratulations. All of those pressures that women used to have about how they look, instead of solving that, we just managed to add ourselves to that list. Great. My new plan is to just not care. I say new plan, I've been doing that for a long while, and I'd recommend it. Because as soon as you acknowledge that you can't polish every turd, you've got to think to yourself, I ain't going to get rid of this. All right, more comments before we move on to this one. I think this is the first one we've done that will definitely be too wide for any of my cameras. Maybe the side cam can do it. Soon you'll need a digital ID to buy a ladder, says Proper Memes. I had trouble buying a ladder. When I lived with my first long-term partner, we bought a house together, and I bought a ladder to do some repairs around the house. Step ladder. And I was a little bit heavier than I am now. I'll give you that. But I went out, bought this ladder, came home, and looked on the side, and it had a warning label on, and it said maximum working load, and it was less than I weighed. And I'm 6'2", so if you look fat, you know, there's a lot of mass going in there. I'd never been referred to as a maximum working load before. That one changed my mind about things. That one hurt. Stephen Allen will be cancelled and uncancelled for these outdated comments. Chicks. Yeah, that's still the most controversial thing I've said according to the comment section. So, this thing here. Try and see if we can zoom in any way. There's Donald Trump, and next to him is the picture of which used to be Biden. This is a long wall that has pictures of all the presidents going all the way back to those early ones that no one remembers. They make musicals about them, but no one really cares. And on the other side, so it's Donald Trump. Would have been Biden, Donald Trump, but instead, it's the auto sign pen. Because he was using this auto sign thing, right? And you've just got to realize that is a good joke. Whether you are of the left or of the right, that is just a good joke. Some people will be getting all upset. Oh, disrespectful. Shut up. Just trolling's trolling. There's nothing illegal about it, and you can. However, you do have to realize whoever wins the next election, if it's not Donald Trump or Donald Trump in disguise, however they manage to give him through, if it's someone Democrat, you have got to expect the pictures to get swapped round. Biden will be back, and there'll literally be a 1970s space hopper with hair drawn on it, and you just have to take, because they were orange, weren't they? You have to take it. What's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Even Obama's still there, says Martin in the comments. Yeah, because you can't swap that. Talk about getting cancelled, swapping out that. Ooh, could you imagine? We did promise the Labubu story, didn't we? There you go. Lulu's had a boo-boo. Doomed. The doomed Labubu boo-boo story. Bowie, a drug loser. Loser. On it. That and not doing the goat pun. I've had it with newspapers. Lulu has lifted the lid on her fling with David Bowie. She said that she had to break it off because of all the drugs. My favourite bit is, hang on, a bit lower down. They had a deep connection in the bedroom, but failed to make it work because they were two very different people. David Bowie was two very different people, so what did you expect? At least two. Was he at least two? Thin white Duke, although I thought, was that Prince Philip? I get confused. But, well, good luck, Lulu. I'd hate that story. Let's not even do it. Because we've only got half an hour to get all these done. Harry Potter star Emma Watson doesn't want to see franchise creator J.K. Rowling get cancelled. Why, has she been calling people chicks? She's not, actually. It's the opposite, isn't it? That'd be a step in détente in this situation. The 35-year-old actress faced criticism from author for supporting the trans community. Emma insisted that just because they disagree doesn't mean she doesn't treasure the writer. And also, one would imagine, doesn't want those films to become like Gary Glitter's back catalogue. Do you know what I mean? If you were one of the session players on some of those pieces of music, you'd be upset about the PRS. And if you're in some of those films, you don't want them to not get played in. You don't want too many trigger warnings on ITV2 when they're showing that stuff. I think we've got to the bottom of that, especially when you've got all those driving bans to pay. In something to do with cash news, cash for revival of locals. We are romping through today, so let me check on the timer how long we've got left. 4 minutes left. The government has set up a £5 billion fund to save local pubs and libraries and get rid of unwanted vape shops and fake barbers. So this is kind of like a levelling up thing. Good for saving local pubs. I mean, I suppose the free market should be doing some of this. If you're that much of a I love capitalism person and you've got the private company selling alcohol to people, if you can't make money selling booze to people, do you know what I mean? But libraries, all right. There's your $5 billion. Why does it cost £5 billion to get rid of vape shops? Just shut them down. I think you could do that for much less. There must be an email. Don't send letters. You save yourself the stamps. That's half the cost there. I think, well, I agree. Get rid of vape shops. They're annoying. I don't like people who vape. Only because I worked with someone who was giving it, I think I might have told you this story before, giving it the large. Like, actually, I quit smoking last year. Wow, oh my God, that's so good. You've got such strong willpower. You are so good. You have vape now. Oh, you've not quit smoking. You're basically doing the same. You've just managed to technically swap the verb. You're basically still a smoker. Kind of smoke comes out. Yeah. You've not really kicked it. In the same way that if someone says, I quit smoking, I quit drinking last year. Oh my God, wow, that's amazing. What do you, oh, you got such willpower. Yeah. Yeah, now I just soak tampons in vodka and, right. You're basically still drinking. Not a drop passes my lips. Well, I'd hope not. Boing. So, but and the other part of that is fake barbers. As a bald man, I'm annoyed that fake barbers aren't trying to team up with me. Because they're fake barbers. They're laundering money. They don't need to do haircuts. And I don't need haircuts. So why aren't we swap? I could get some of the money. Do you know what I mean? It feels insensitive for them to be laundering money and not getting me in on the deal. Because I could sit there and then come out and go, oh, you did. And then we could split the money. But until then, shut them down. I'm hoping we don't run out of time for energy drink of the day, says Joodles. There's not one today because I need to get a nap after doing this. I love this. I love doing this live stream. I love napping more. There is no way I'm putting my nap in a jeopardy for this. I've still also got a can of yesterday's dragon that needs finishing. It's a bit flat. Audit the vape shops and the fake barbers, says Proper Memes. That'll stop them. Not if I could turn up there. Oh, look, they'd have pictures of me on the wall of the various haircuts that you could have. Could you imagine? That's more of a threat, isn't it? Didn't know that was a thing, says Chris Hood. Disappointing, says Joodles. Sorry, next time on Tuesday, because I've got loads to do next Tuesday, there will be energy drink of the day. Barcelona, says Hi-Ho Kermit, has an entire street of mobile phone vape shops. They can't need that many. Plainly, this is not about healthy competition. And Proper Meme says if you need a nap, then you clearly need an energy drink. But I could get a nap. That's healthier. I was working really late the other night. I did a gig last night. Plus, I'll plug it at the end. I got loads going. Energy drink Tuesdays, says Proper Memes. That's not a bad idea. If you are an energy drink and you'd like to sponsor this show, go for it. I might do this as the final story then. Stripper Man 74 banned. A pensioner has been banned from being naked in public for 6 years after he was found with 3,000 nude selfies on his camera. We don't know if it was like one taken every day. Again, this is an old person with a phone, so this could have just been like a really busy half hour. It's not doing anything. Is this? Everyone else can hear. I know it's not doing anything. What's going on? You know what I mean? Absolute ton from the one session. But it's probably not. He went out, he got naked quite a lot. What I like about this, he's been banned from being naked in public for 6 years. Why not just ban him from being naked in public? That's very much... Oh, we're out of time. That's a shame. Just saying, 6 years and a day, you do not want to live near where this guy lives. And we're sorted. There you go, half an hour of news all done and dusted. That one didn't drag. I mean, it did a bit at the start, but we'll sort that for Tuesday. Things to plug. All Hit Radio on the internet from 1 o'clock every weekday. Friday and Saturday this week I'm performing in Hemel Hempstead, which is a bit awkward because recently I did a joke where the punchline was, oh, I'd hate to be in Hemel Hempstead. I can't even remember the story, but I didn't check my diary before I did that joke. Then also, Sunday I'm in Liverpool at the Brink. Quite recently I was asked to go on Times Radio and comment on why people in Liverpool think they're funnier than comedians. And I did, because I will do anything for 50 quid. Which is why I got this guy called Sasha online who wants to chat with me. But anyway, I didn't look at my diary for that either. So I went on national media, talked about Liverpool, and now I'm performing up there on Sunday. Subscribe to the YouTube, youtube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. Have a look at the Substack. Maybe we'll talk about digital IDs on there. Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen if you'd like to throw a pound in my general direction. And subscribe to the audio pod as well. More of those coming out. I did want to try and plug the newspaper columns. On a Friday, the Romford Recorder has one in there. on Tuesdays, my Swindon Advertiser one. I don't know. If you live in those areas, buy one, but I don't know how you get them otherwise. Just final comments before we go then. There's research that suggests that if you nap after coffee or energy drink, you can nap less, like a power nap, says Hi-Ho Commit. Why do I want to nap less? I want to nap more. I'm shattered. I've got 2 kids. But at the moment, the missus at work, they're both in at the nursery, and I'm gigging tonight. I can get a nap in. Yesterday was a run day. I don't have to do a run today. I can nap. All I wanted is a nap. That's all I ever wanted. As an FYI, your vid has still been very sporadically stuttery, says Joodles. Could be my performance. I'm known for the ellipsis. I do start some sentences and then abandon them halfway. It's just Steve in real life, says proper memes. Yep, bang on. Absolutely. You nailed that. I'm off to go and take some vitamins and go and get a nap. Thank you very much. Oh, how do we get rid of this? No idea. I really shouldn't have swapped those around. Bacon sarnies and nap. Heaven. Sounds like that's the plan. Thank you very much for watching this one. I get the feeling these were meant to get more professional as they went on. The opposite has happened somehow. I'm worried about what we'll do next week, and yet at the same time, kind of interested. And until then, have yourself a good one.